So I think in life, as I observe life, I'm just connecting the dots in many different aspects that I learn from school, from just wisdom that God gives me. And I think one interesting thing I've realized is how Satan controls the world, and also how similar that is to the laws of thermodynamics, mainly being um, the rule of like entropy and chaos, and how the universe constantly tends to chaos, and how like everything constantly turns to chaos. And I think the point is like it's really interesting because God has set the system to naturally tend to chaos so that he can display his glory in the world, and he can prove that the world, everything beautiful in the world exists for him. Like this is, I think this is a proof of God. Like this is basically the watchmaker analogy, in which like if you're just walking around and you see a watch, you don't just say like it was there randomly by luck. Like obviously someone made it, someone designed the gears and stuff to make it a certain way. And it's the same thing with the world, except it's even more difficult than the watchmaker analogy to kind of have the watch, if you see what I mean, because the world is progressively getting worse. So I think the chaos theory basically means that the universe gets progressively disordered if you don't do anything about it, like just its natural default state. And so that is worse than like just nothing happening. Like it's actively getting worse. And I think that is the beautiful thing um about how God has created it, because when he creates humans, when he creates all these plants, all these trees, all these things with like the Fibonacci sequence, all these beautiful ordered structured things in nature, all our digestive systems, our nervous systems, our brains, the complexity of our eyes, like that doesn't come just by the universe becoming more chaotic. Like it's not just like, oh, chaos, 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 and suddenly a mitochondria appears. That's not how it works. And that's the beautiful thing about how God has designed the world, because he has to exist for that to happen. And similarly, in our lives, and like in like yeah, just in our lives, it's the same thing about chaos, because like I said, Satan rules the world. And so if you don't actively go out your way to pursue something, to kind of direct your life in a certain way, then your life will naturally progressively get worse, or at least like worse being just like mediocre, and you kind of just die spiritually, and you just become like a slave to the elites who harvest your time for energy, and pay you with money which they can print out of thin air. And um and that is what the devil wants from most people. I mean, not from most people, from everyone. That's what the devil wants. But if you actively choose to resist the devil, go against the grain, go against the law of thermodynamics, which makes your life like just worse, then you become that like creative thing. That's the thing. I think that's what it means when it says be made in the image of God, because we have the ability to create. We have the ability to create order from chaos, using our like using the abilities God has given us. It's just an interesting connection I made there.